All right, ladies, gentlemen, gamers, welcome back. It is your favorite reactor and analyzer back on the scene, Chris Allen. I'm here to react to Nilah, or Nilah, however you pronounce her. She has been released on the PvE as well as the Star Guardian stuff, but I'll leave that for probably a different video. For just this video, we're going to be going over her kit, what it actually does, if I think it's good or not, and we'll see it in action. So far, I'm not going to be going over her story because I don't give a shit. I'll watch Necrit for that. For her splash art alone, obviously she's in Bilgewater, that much has been confirmed, and she fights giant sea monsters, which she perceives as evil, with I think, water demon, which might feast on joy, I don't know. That's related to her lore, we don't care. We care about gameplay. So, spread joy on the rift with Nilah in patch 12.13. Joy unceasing and forever. I wish I had that. Now that I'm getting re-employed again, I'm not gonna have that. But let's see. I'm assuming this is her passive. She's holding the demon's vessel. We have her Q, the double ash. The W, some sort of bullshit, defensive ability probably. The E, everyone's favorite, a dash. And then the ulti. Looks like someone used watercolors and just made it circle. Cool. So let's actually read it. Passive, joy unending. Nilah amplifies the healing and shielding abilities of nearby allies. Oh, I wonder if that includes herself. Allies that heal or shield Nilah gain a bonus heal or shield for themselves. And when an allied champion heals or shields themselves near Nilah, she gives herself a bonus heal or shield. So she copies people. If Nilah last hits an enemy minion, she and her nearest allied champion will gain the normal amount of shit. Oh, nah. Will gain the normal amount of shared experience plus half of the experience that would have been lost due to sharing. So this kind of is what pushes her into the bot lane. Originally, my main question was, what is going to stop her from going top or mid? And here's the answer. It's just better to go with the support because the heal and the shield from the passive, as well as the XP. So it seems like she'll just level faster with her support. Huh. Yeah, she just literally levels faster. And the support does too. That's actually crazy. What the fuck? That's insane. Okay. So far, so interesting. Q, Formless Blade. Active. Oh my god, that means they're passive. Nilah's Formless Blade strikes in a line, dealing damage to all enemies hit. Hitting an enemy will briefly increase Nilah's attack range and attack speed and empower her basics, causing them to splash in a cone and deal additional damage. Damn. So if you miss, this does nothing. If you hit, it gets empowered. Your autos get empowered. And you get range, basically. That's cool. So that's how you probably poke and shit. Passive, attacks and ability damage against champions. Ignore some of their armor and heal Nilah. What? This effect scales with crit chance and converts any excess healing into a shield. Bruh. What the hell? Holy shit. Okay, that pretty much synergizes with the passive. A lot of the kits that have been coming out have been synergizing very well with themselves, which is good. I like that. So the W, Jubilant Veil. Let's see this bullshit. Nilah shrouds herself in a Jubilant Veil and briefly gains bonus move speed. Great. Takes reduced magic damage and dodges all incoming basics. Interesting. So she's anti-AD. Touching an allied champion hides them in the veil as well, but they'll be protected for a shorter period. Wow, so she's really good at dueling and she heals. Okay. E, Slipstream. Slipstream lets Nilah dash through a target unit, traveling a fixed distance every time and damaging all enemies she passes through. She can store up to 2 charges at once. And let me guess, is there a reset of some sort? Cast Formless Blade during Slipstream to play wave in your path, dealing damage after a quick delay and granting Formless Blade's enhanced basic attack effect. So no matter what, you get it if you EQ. So it's kind of like Samira in that sense. Okay, so synergy with the EQ. Nice. And the W gives you move speed. That's so crazy. But you only dodge basics. So it's like Jax. Damn. And then the R, Apotheosis. Interesting name, I like it. Nilah unleashes a surge of power, lashes her whip in an area, with a final burst pulls enemies towards her. It heals Nilah for a part of the damage dealt, converting any excess healing into a shield. This effect scales with crit chance and is granted to nearby allies. You know what this honestly feels like with how much she synergizes with heals, and not only heals, but shields specifically. When I'm thinking of the shields and how well she synergizes with them, I just think of how like good Zeri could have been, and then how they just nerfed Zeri. Well, that's interesting. May our battles ink the pages of history. Let's see how this shit looks. Let's see. I also have my Din Din right next to me, so I'm smelling that while this is happening. So she amplifies the healing and shielding of nearby allies. Allies that heal? Okay. So let me see this shit. Okay, that's the XP. This passive showing off shit is really bad. But they level up quicker. I mean, how can you really show that? So yeah, if you heal, they also heal. And if you shield, they also shield. Are they going to show Janna? Or no, let me see. They show Lulu. Yeah, she gets a shield as well. That's crazy. What? Yo, I actually like this. So she's super good with enchanters. Holy shit. No more mages in the bot lane. Even though they'll probably play mage with her anyway. But this is good. This is a great passive. Holy shit. Okay. Now let's see the Q. So that's the whack, and then those are the autos. So I'm pretty sure the main target probably takes a majority of the damage, and then the side target takes probably, I don't know, some extra damage. Easy, okay. And heal Nilah for part of the damage dealt. Oh my god. Okay, and the W, pretty self-explanatory. She just dodges autos. She looks really cool in it, though. How long does this last for? Maybe like 2 seconds. 2-3 seconds. And then the E. Okay, so she has to target someone. And it's a fixed distance, so if you do it in front of them, you go further behind them. Okay. Okay, let me see the EQ combo actually again, if I can. Yeah, so it's literally just Samira Q basically, except a slight delay. Okay, okay. Oh my, okay. So I wonder if the charge up does damage. I don't think it does, but there's no way to know. Alright, honestly, a lot simpler than I thought, but pretty good. Seems like she might be fun, but we'll see. I'm a little curious on to the builds they're going to go for her, but let's keep looking. Here's a first look at Nilah's release skin, Star Guardian Nilah. That's hot. That is pretty hot. I like how they didn't even bother like coloring the people's faces and they just look like stupid. But then you have Nilah. And her little puff dog. That's pretty cool. So let me read a little bit into Nilah's champion insight. Here's small baby panda with a champion insight. The feminine urge to slay a 40-story sea serpent. Interesting. So recently, League has added big meanies. Cool. They've added Renata Glask, Belveth. So they've only added 2. And then they're adding Nilah. That's how you pronounce it. Nilah. Her water's cup deep. Okay, they wanted a melee skirmisher ADC. Interesting. My main fear with her, she's not going to do enough. Honestly. I don't know how she'll... I mean, unless the AoE gets crazy, or the attack speed gets crazy, or she's just like a bruiser type thing. I don't know how she's going to do stuff in team fights. I feel like she can easily die, unless the range on the Q is really crazy. But we'll look that up right now, or right after this. Okay. Before you bot... Wait, let me read this. Okay, so the goal was to create a new experience not only for bot laners, but also for Yasuo or Yeonmins who might want to try their hand or sword at another position. Damn. The team really didn't want to create another sad Ionian sword boy. With this in mind, concept artist Nancy Riot Soju Kim began looking into weapons. Okay, so this is just the art. Is this just the art? No one gives a shit about this. Well, people do. I don't. Yeah, no, we don't care about this. Join bound, cool. I want to go into like gameplay thoughts. Where's that? Yeah, this is just design. Who cares about the design? The star of the show, cool. Yasuo means they can stop begging your team to Pick knockup champs. Wow. Yeah, honestly, she works so well with enchanters. Okay, let's see her kit. So let's see. I'm curious in this, actually. So here's a look at Nilah's design team, a peek into how Nilah was designed, and her post-release balance plan, because they already know she might be an issue. Leading up to Nilah's release, we want to give you a bit of insight into how her gameplay was designed and a peek at her post-release balance plan. We knew from the very beginning that she was going to be a melee bot laner, which already spells a recipe for either overpowered or disaster. This gave us a great opportunity to leverage a lot of learnings that previous melee bot carries taught us, like Yasuo. One example is Yasuo. Would you look at that? The closest thing League has to a melee bot laner today. Surprising it's not Yon. It's mostly Yasuo just because he has a wind wall which counters ADs, which you could say Nilah has, an auto-blocking mechanic which counters ADs. And Yasuo has mobility, and guess what Nilah has on her E? Mobility. So, pretty big similarities. Yasuo hits a lot of the great bot lane carry qualities. Great scaling, squishy, strong synergies. However, his primary and most popular role has always been mid, which has meant his balance adjustments always prioritize his health in that role, not bot lane. So basically, it sounds like they're trying to give the Yasuo mains something for bot lane so they don't go Yasuo bot, which is interesting. Another great example is Mordekaiser's Ghost Dragon that Riot Game remembers. Oh yeah, of course they do. Okay, so what were they doing? Find success in a bot lane as her primary role and balance her with this key objective in mind. So they want her to go bot. And I think with the passive, they did pretty good with that, although I am scared what sick things the League community can think of. I mean, God, I remember funneling you with Taric mid. Jesus Christ. Janna top, Sona top. Ugh. She should not dramatically alter the way bot lane is played and should still deliver to some degree on what players expect from the traditional marksman role. So what I expect from the traditional marksman role is kind of weak early, but she scales in late game. She does a lot. Nilah should be able to work with a wide variety of supports and have abilities that increase these synergies. Enchanters. So, finding balance post-launch. In our never-ending quest to bring balance to the Rift, yeah right, we build levers into Champion's Kitchen which help us balance them in different ways. Let's look at Nilah's passive, Joy and Ending, which increases the amount of healing and shielding she receives. So that is just like a numbers thing. Let's just say on release Nilah is dominating top lane. This could be an indicator that her solo abilities are overpowered. In that case, we could pull one of the levers and nerf her solo abilities and buff her Joy Unending passive to force her to go with the support. If her healing and shielding turn out to be too strong, they'll nerf that down. Cool. Nilah doesn't have enough counterplay opportunities in losing lanes. Sometimes the reason new champions come out strong is because their counterplay synergies aren't common knowledge yet, like Vayne or other hyperscaling bots. Or, honestly what I hear here is bot laners that aren't really played a lot. Bullying Nilah in the early lane phase is critical to hindering her scaling. So they're really pushing her scaling here, which I'm curious to see. Because you can have all the healing in the world. If you get one shot, it's not going to matter. So my hypothesis is she's not going to build too much crit. But I'm not sure. Because she scales off crit, but if the scaling isn't that good, she'll go bruiser because she heals so much anyway. But we'll see. Let's see. Okay, Belina, okay. Her shared experience passive only procs on last hits, so make sure to deny her CS. Okay, yeah, just do that in general and you'll win. We'll be sure to keep an eye on whether winning lanes are able to punish Nilah as early as intended. Cool. I want to play a tank support, but Nilah's only good with enchanters. That's what I think, but tank supports are always good. If not for Nilah, for them, for the team. We'll be watching to make sure Nilah doesn't completely alter everyone's approach to playing in bot lane. See, I don't like this. I think some champions should have certain support roles that they're good with because it makes them unique. Not every shoe should fit a foot, if that's the right saying. I don't think it is. There's not one shoe that fits every foot. I don't fucking know what it is, but you don't have a one-size-fits-all. That's the better one. So this is kind of I don't like this. Her passive increased shield healing pairs well with enchanters, while her W judge sharing empowers tankier engaged supports. That is true. She is a sort of Samira hybrid where she can, or at least it looks like she should go in. Her ult, you need to go in. I feel like her ult won't be good in team fights unless you're like Samira where you have like just wiping capabilities, but we'll see. Nilah is just building fighter and tank items. Wasn't she intended to feel like an ADC? We plan ahead before champion releases by thinking about what builds players will try out. Well, obviously not with Zeri. Nilah was designed to build like a traditional marksman, and we even incentivize this by giving her crit scaling. But is it enough? Players have a history of creating some pretty out there builds, Zeri, which is all good and fun until it makes the game not good or not fun. Yeah, they just don't want ADs to be fun. That's the main issue. For their opponents and teammates, we're intent on optimizing Nilah as a bot-lane skirmisher, so we want her to be high DPS squishy that players expect of the role and not a tank. Which I'm honestly fine with either. Zeri spoiled me. We'll be keeping a particularly close eye on her itemization to make sure players feel rewarded for itemizing crit on Nilah. Thank goodness. Only one role builds crit and it's ADC. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I hate it. Anyway. We're bursting with joy about Nilah's release, and we hope all of you are too. Conquer your foes and bring joy to your allies with Nilah in patch 12.13 on July 14th, 2022. Pretty good, pretty good. And then we have some gifts. So, now that that's done, this is the Star Guardian shit. I'll react to that after. So, we're on to this one. We're here to see her scalings and her base stats. So, how much range does she have at the base level? And move speed. I'm actually curious about that too. Base level move speed, 340. That is pretty high. Attack speed per level 3, attack range 225. That's pretty low. Let's see how much the passive gives you. The passive gives you 50. Okay, that's the XP shit. Okay, so 10 to 20% increased effectiveness from healing and shielding. That seems kind of OP. A 20% more effective shield and 10% more heal. Like, that's crazy. That's kind of crazy. Okay, so the passive, the Q, how much does this do? This ignores armor. It gets armor pump, which is insane. It's 33%. Like, what the fuck? And that scales off crit too. Oh my god. Her attacks against champions restore. Okay. 15. It scales off crit 2% health. Overhealing from this is converted into a shield. That is so stupid. She cracks her whip blade, dealing 51 damage. So it's 5 plus 80% physical damage. If an enemy is hit, she gains 125 attack range, attack speed, and her attacks hit in a cone for 64 damage. Oh, so it does the same AoE to everyone. You know what's crazy about this? This is actually so fucked up. So they just said Sivir. They wanted Sivir to be the premier AoE ADC. It seems like Nilah is so much better just because of her Q. She has AoE autos that deal 110% of her physical damage. I'm assuming can crit. Hopefully. If they don't, then that's kind of ass. But that's insane. That is crazy. Percentage of her attacks damage. Oh my god, it goes up to 160. Okay, maybe it can't crit. If her Q can crit, doing 160 base damage of her damage, that will be nutty. Okay, so let's see the W. The W is pretty simple. Cooldown's long as hell. Move speed is pretty low. Whatever mana cost goes down, that's fine. The E. The E does wee damage. That's fine because it's a dash. And then the recharge time is 12. That's not bad, honestly. So you could actually go in, fight, and then get out. That's actually really nice. And then let's see the ulti. So she swirls her whip blade, dealing 60 to 200 damage over 1 second. Oh, so she does do on the initial. Okay. And then 125 physical damage that also pulls nearby enemies towards her. Her damage dealt 30% plus another 15 of crit. So another 50. So 45% essentially. Oh my god. Late game. Converting any overhealing into a shield. Damn. So honestly, aside from her Q, if that crits, that's insane. I don't see where her other damage comes from. It has to be the Q autos. It has to. So this has to crit. And if this crits, this is crazy. Like, oh my god. There's no way. Oh, wait, no. It's 160% on the first initial thing, so it's always 110 on the autos. Never mind, I was wrong. Still, that's pretty good, though. But, the majority of her damage has to come from her, like, AoE autos. How much range does she get? Did I read that? She gains 125 attack range, which puts her to 350. That's still pretty low. Honestly, I don't see... This is weird. I honestly don't see her being good in team fights. Because you have to be so close, and the only thing you have is you could dodge autos. You can't dodge CC, you can't dodge all this bullshit like Gwen can. So I feel like she'll just die unless you go a tanky build. Like, I mean, to play an AD, like, she's so weird, right? I feel like her ult should be used in a team fight. Maybe it doesn't have to be, but that's like the best thing it should. Her ult feels like the weirdest part of her kit, honestly. Everything else synergizes well. I just don't like the ult. The ult could have been like a steroid or something. The ult feels really weird. In a 1-on-1 or 1v2 or 3 even, it's good. But in the actual team fight, you can't go in first. Maybe you could go in after, but there's not much to save you if the enemy decides to focus you there. Maybe you could dash out, but I don't know. That's so weird. It doesn't synergize. I feel like her ult is the only oddball out. Overall, though, her damage isn't looking too high, but maybe the autos and everything else of her gaining faster XP and everything will make up for it. But overall, I'm excited to see her. She should be out, hopefully, when the next pass is out so I can play her. And I'm going to go finish this up and start reacting to the Star Guardian bullshit. So, check that also out on my YouTube. Hope you enjoyed.